3, 4.
Yo, what's up, jazz guitar friends? Larry Tamanini here, catching me in the gig simulator with Hershey, aka Flea Morgan. We're just hanging out, playing through one of my favorite tunes, Miles Davis, Solar, right? Is this song a blues? I don't know. It's 12 bars. I think any song that's 12 bars, I'm going to classify it as a blues, right? And this is such a staple, right, of jazz music and especially jazz guitar, very jazz guitar friendly tune. If you don't know this tune, you should learn it. If you know this tune and you don't remember it off the top of your head, pretty easy refresher course. Check it out real quick. I think of this song as a blues because it's 12 bars. That's just how I group things in my head. And instead of a 5-4-1 or a 2-5-1 ending, I think of the turnaround after it goes to the 4, to the flat 3, and then flat 2, Neapolitan, ice cream, pizza, good times, right? All right, so check it out. Let's just try to get the chord structure under our fingers real quick. Because the tricky thing about this song is you have fast 2-5s and slow 2-5s. And it's just like the song title, Solar, just goes around, right? Sometimes it's a long day. Sometimes, like now, it's the winter time, it's short. So check it out, it starts out long. A lot of people play this as a minor major. Some people play it, whatever you gotta do, right? So let's just think of it as a 1, minor 1, right off the top, right? I'm gonna do it for 2 bars. And then I have a long 2-5 to my 4, but it's a major, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to approach that turnaround already with another long 2-5s to E flat. And stays right there down to D flat. And there's that C minor, right? Right? Okay, so sure, it sounds really easy. When I started out and people would explain tunes on the bandstand on the fly to me like this, or you'd see like the Joe Pass videos, the VHS, the hot lick stuff, they say, oh, it's just this, and then they'd move so quick. Wow, that's a lot of information to process. I know sometimes I even do jazz guitar under 5 minutes, right? And the gimmick is that you can really, really explain it and process it super quickly. But we all know that takes a lot of time. So I'm sure people, certain skill levels watching this, got it, ready to move on. Other people still thinking about it, right? So let's just think about it a little bit more, okay? Because if you have it at this point, then you probably know the tune. There's a long 2-5 to the 4, and again, it's a 4 major. And again, another long approach. Here's where it's short. So it kind of lulls you into that last 2-5 that you have a lot of time to make a bunch of decisions, right? Because it starts out, you can play long phrases. right? Plenty of time. But here, whoops, right? And right back to it again. So that's an easy way to really approach the form and just the way the blues classification of this song. Thinking of it as a blues that goes to a 4 major and then a flat 3 and a flat 2, right? Almost like bluesette kind of, in a sneaky way, right? It's always weird, those songs that you're so used to hearing in like 3 sort of end up doing the same thing in like another song, but you don't always put it together. So, all right, now the melody, right? This is a great tune, I think. The greatest part about this tune is the fact that, especially as a guitar player, you kind of end up having to phrase like a horn, because you have that, right? I also played this in 2 spots, and it's tough to be consistent with how you kind of hit that opening phrase. I might have done it in 2 different ways there, but let's just put it right here for now. I don't know, let's put it up top. So I'm going down a half step, I'm going up a whole step, and I'm ending on my 5th, right? So this song melodically kind of leans on the 3rd and kind of how it hangs out on the 3rd a lot. But, you know, in the very beginning, it starts on the root. And then it kind of goes to that 3rd of G minor. And then I guess you can kind of think of it as the flat 7, right? Because it is. And then again, I'm really hanging out on my 3rd. But there, we get that kind of half step to the 3rd, right? It's a lot that happens in that part there. So from the very beginning, you know, very syncopated. But again, pretty much we're playing around with a 3rd. And then with the last 4 bars, right, just like any blues, you think of it as your first 3, your second 3, your first 4, your second 4, and then your third 4. I went to art school, I can't count. So when I'm thinking about the last part, again, really hanging out on the 3rd, right? And there's that little line that Miles played that maybe wasn't even part of the tune, but is part of the tune, right? That break. And all these phrases do have that half step in common. So you have to be a little bit slippy slidey. I always find that like one of the toughest things to get a swinging sound is when you're playing and picking a lot of half steps. You know, if I pick everything, sure, I'm playing a little bit on the beat and maybe trying to make it sound a little bit more, a little bit not as swinging or as I would phrase it, but again, when you can kind of really affect the phrase quite a bit. This is a great song to really just sort of get used to. That's a tough one. And that's really kind of challenging to kind of get. You'll notice I also kind of like tried to slide into the note. Again, if you really want to improve your swing, it's not, the notes aren't going to they're not going to jump off for you. You got to put a little something on it. So just by kind of anticipating. I phrase that with my 3rd finger, and then my 1st finger, and then back to my 3rd finger to bring me back to that. And I did play it in 2 spots. Oops. Ooh. Pretty challenging to get that with 1 finger or a couple fingers, or just get that slippy, slidey swing feel. It'll really improve your phrasing, I think. And this is a great song. You know, so much of the language of what you play and the vocabulary of playing jazz has just like, you know, you're playing a lot of different melodies. So, all right, jazz guitar friends, thanks for hanging out. That's Solar 12-bar blues. Goes to flat 3, flat 2. You know, is it really a blues? Because you can't really just play C minor blues over the whole thing. At some point, you gotta sort of play some changes. But all right, jazz guitar friends, I'm gonna take a couple more choruses, and you have a great day. Keep swinging. Holiday season is upon us. Bebop.